This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives. Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Yes, good morning once again and welcome to Issues at Hand. Yes, I do welcome you from Good Morning Family. I hope you had a wonderful time in there. And yes, this is Issues at Hand. We always discuss a number of issues that do touch society. So specifically today, as you can see down there, our topic is going to be the fate of the undeployed medical interns. And of course, you all know that we have been having a number of crises here in the country, regarding to the medical interns here in the nation. So we have seen a number of demonstrations. A number of them we have heard from their press briefings under the umbrella of Uganda Medical Interns Association and all that. So it is a lot. So, but the issue here is because of the undeployment of them. Most of them, the ministry came out and deployed around 63 out of the over 2,500, and then the balance, which is close to 1,200 plus of them, are now just seated and they are not deployed anywhere. So this is what we are going to be discussing. What is their fate? And joining me here today is Dr. Edwin Ouma, who is the chairperson, Uganda Medical Interns Association, TESO branch, and is going to be taking us through the entire process. So the topic is, what is the fate of these undeployed medical interns? I want to start by greeting Doctor here with me. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
You're most welcome to Family TV.
Thank you so much.
Yes, please.
Family TV. I'm glad to correct a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not the chairperson of interns. I am the chairperson Uganda Medical Association TESO branch.
Oh, okay.
So that's for the whole doctors of which interns are part of. So it is a branch of the main Uganda Medical Association that operationalizes it.
Okay, please start by greeting our people out there.
Good morning, our listeners, our viewers. Very happy to be here today, hosted by Family TV, for this wonderful session to talk about the fate of our medical interns. A workforce really that is very important to our nation, but year in, year out seems to always be in a cat and mouse kind of game with the government. I hope that we can appreciate the discussion and at the end of the day see something that good that comes out of it.
Okay. Thank you so much, really, for joining us here today. So, my first and foremost question is, what is the background, or what is the current situation of regarding the medical interns? Can you provide an overview?
Overview is so brief because every year we have this around this time, between July to August, same issue. And as you know, medical interns are really part of the human resource capital in the medical field. And these are graduates that are done with their course, whatever the duration, and now they are transitioning into the practice proper. Okay, so as a norm, as a history, as a principle, we go through some kind of apprenticeship period, which we call internship. Okay. And that period is so key because at the end of the day, you've gotten the knowledge from school. Now you're going to start seeing the patient consistently. We need to ensure that the quality, the safety, the touch will always be consistent. And that's why this period is so key. But we've always seen year in, year out battles with this specific cluster of human resources, with specifically the government. Why? The issue is because the government takes them on during this apprenticeship period, such that it is a kind of a commitment by government to ensure that people, the citizens, get quality care. So they have to train them properly. But over the years, there have been issues of financial management. Now we are adding another component of numbers. Numbers are causing the financial strain to even be worse. And that is why we are finding ourselves in the same mix again. Yeah, that's a brief background.
Okay, so and what is the stance? What is the ministry's stand? What is the ministry saying?
So really the ministry is the government. And there are very many ministries there. Usually around this time, we concentrate on the Ministry of Health.
Ministry of Health, exactly.
It's the one in the firing lane. But I want you to know that in the production of these human resources, it doesn't begin with the Ministry of Health.
Okay.
It begins with the Ministry of Education. So the Ministry of Education is in the background and is not getting the fire. Why? Because it produces these people and then hands them over to the Ministry of Health. I think it is not fair, really, to begin with.
Okay.
And there also is the Ministry of Finance.
Finance, yeah.
Because it's the one with the money. So so what's the stance of the Ministry of Finance? We don't have money. What's the Ministry of Education? We have given you the people that you need to ensure that the doctor or the nurse-patient ratio, the doctor-patient ratio is okay. We have no doubt about that. It is increasing. Now, what is the stand of Ministry of Health? We don't have money. Why? Because Ministry of Finance has not provided the money. So what happened now there? So you've seen, as you've mentioned, about 1,263 can be deployed with the available resources. The other can't be deployed. Why? Because at the end of the day, they expect support, financial support, because you cannot see patients when you're hungry, when you're distressed. The quality of the care will not be good. That is where the problem is.
Can we look at number one, maybe the Ministry of Finance? Is it given a number that we expect these people this year, or it is just a matter of producing?
It's a very interesting question. To be honest with you, I don't know if they get the number. I don't know whether they get it as a memo or whatever communication, and then they either throw it in the bin or it gets lost in the drawers. But we suspect, as the issue is in Uganda, that they don't get the number. Otherwise, it would be dishonest of them to keep getting the number every year. They act like they have not gotten the number. So I suspect they have not got the number. Why? Planning. The planning is absurd. The planning is abject. The planning by who? One, the planning, I think, from the side of the Ministry of Education, because they don't inform. Oh, this is all government, but there is no intersectoral coordination, so to say.
Okay.
So this one produces, this one is supposed to take up and employ, but they are not communicating. So they communicate now around this problem. So the communication is broken. So I suspect Ministry of Finance doesn't get this memo, and for it gets what it suspects the Ministry of Health Planning Unit probably gives it. So probably we can also say at the Ministry of Health, maybe so the planning has an issue, because if the specific division in charge of these gallant citizens of Uganda doesn't know how many are coming, then it cannot budget for them, or say that this is the budget that I need really. And we don't see it through parliamentary processes, and therefore we reach this every year. Now we are saying, now we know how many are going to come next year. We actually know. Why can't we plan for them right? Why can't we approach them right now and tell the schools that you have this number of students, next year they're going to come for this program, we can only accommodate this. And then that one kind of initiates discussions, innovations on how the rest can see how they fit in. I feel if that was being done, at least intentionally, by someone who is probably not sleeping on job, or someone who is really intentional about their job, would not get into this quagmire in the first place.
I'm looking at 1,200, over 1,200 people, and they're the ones left out. Do you think, because I remember some time back we had the permanent secretary for Ministry of Finance saying this is not a priority of the country, things like that. If there is no money, there is no money. So do you think it is a priority? Because I see 1,200 is not a number that is going to, if maybe concentration is put, the country will not run bankrupt in a minute. Do you think the Ministry of Finance is putting in efforts? Maybe it's prioritizing this, the medical internships.
Really, you would ask yourself that at a family level, do you think health is a priority?
Of course it is.
A family person, a family head. Do you think health is a priority? So we should plan for it. So really, sometimes in the heat of the moment, the comments
that
spewed
come
by
out.
certain people are really illogical, because you cannot say it is not a priority. If health is a priority, then the people who offer that service are a priority. And it is really so clear. We have right from WHO, which kind of offers leadership and direction and advice over health matters. We have standard figures. I know we are in a third world country, but we have standard figures that we aim for quality services. Those figures are matched doctor to patient. You cannot say it is not a priority. So we really like the Minister of Finance to actually take back those words because for lack of any other word, they are dishonest words. They are not serious words because we have Vision 2040. We have that very clearly. We know where we want to go. For any socio-economical transformation of any country, health for productivity is key. So actually, there are more than 1,200 that are pending, about 1,500 young girls and boys whose future has been broken. They have studied, their parents have taken care of them, they have paid the school fees, and now they are being told, you cannot go for internship, you have to wait. So they cannot practice because they don't have a license. Why? Because this same directive is guided by government. Because they say, you cannot practice before you do internship. That is no. Then again, the same government is saying, you cannot go for internship because there's no money. So I feel like they are tying these young, and you know, that's now where we're going to the fate. What is their fate if you're trying to play cat and mouse with them like this? What do you think is going to happen, to be honest? What do you think the gallant gentlemen and ladies in these ministries, what do you think is going to happen to these young people that are now finishing, they've studied? You think they're going to just sit home? Do you think the population is really safe? Those people that we expect to work to give us taxes, when they get sick and they get these young people who are frustrated, who probably have some fine tuning to happen to treat these people, do you think it will happen well? This is where problems start from.
Okay.
And I think that it's high time we got serious about our jobs, our work, and the direction our country is taking.
Okay. So the Ministry of Health came out and said it is because of the finances that we are not that some of these people are not going to be deployed. What is your response to this as UMA?
As the president put it in the Medical Association in a recent brief, it's a request and it's a demand. Find the money, deploy the interns. We are signatory to very many declarations like the Abuja Declaration, whereby it's no, the country has to spend about 15% of its national budget on health. On health. That's not happening. It's about 8.9 right now. 8.9 is about 6% short of what is expected. That 6% could be funding this. So the response is so clear and brief. Government, those are excuses. Find the money, deploy this important segment of the medical profession to support the population.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm looking at now these ones who are not going to be deployed, and then we have others who are going to be graduating next year. I'm trying to add up. How will they be able to take care of all these numbers if they pay like this? And what excuses will they, do you think they will be giving?
It is so sad that first and foremost, we don't even have a policy. So that's why we are going helter-skelter everywhere. You can imagine the way how they say, you go, you stay. Do you think it is informed by scientific evidence? Because the Ministry of Health is all about science and evidence, evidence-based decision-making. So you can imagine, what are they basing on to say, you go, you don't go? So are we creating a backlog of students every year that now this is 2024, next year is 2025? So those who graduated in 2024, now you go. You of 2025, you stay. Maybe we increase the period at medical school. Because now people are going longer periods at school or in waiting before they can serve, which is, I think, not fair to them. You take so long in school and then start coming up socioeconomically. So I think that these young people, it is something that we should not accept. Can go on, okay? And this money can be gotten. Why? Because we can generate a supplementary, we can get money from some other sectors, and then we try to find. But also what is just needed is tell the young gentleman, you go and start. Through experience and through our own time, we never used to receive money on time. Never. It used to come probably 3 months late or something like that. In that period of time, you're cooking heads, you're finding solutions to this problem that you have generated, starting with deploying them, so you avoid the fate that we're going to talk about, and then you work backwards. Go back to where the next are coming from, and ask yourself, how many are coming? And what can we do to ensure that this is the number we want? Better they stay in school than come out on the street. What do you think? I think that would be the best. Better they remain in school knowing they are still in school
Yes, sure.
than out and they don't know where they are.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow. And by the way, every person from the Ministry of Health was so busy when we reached out to them. So you might say, why don't we have someone from the ministry to also answer some questions? But our efforts landed on a rock and no one was able to turn up. Maybe they feared Dr. Edwin in this regard. But now, Doctor, I want to ask, what impact does this have on these intern doctors, on these who are supposed to go, the undeployed interns?
I think what impact do you have on these citizens? Because first and foremost, they are citizens of the country who have invested in education and are now professionals, and now they are being denied an opportunity to do what they are supposed to do. So the impact is not only in the immediate. There is immediate, there is mid-term, there is long-term. And the first thing is that the impact, first of all, is that they are not going for internship probably, as the stand is. So what is going to happen there as an outcome? Some might never go. They might drop off. They might go into some other thing. So those are probably 5 to 6 years wasted at school.
That's good.
With no earning money for the country or paying taxes. You see, that's how we think about it. So that outcome is already bad. Secondly, there's a health impact.
Oh yes.
Doctors are not robots or immune to mental health disorders, depression, anxiety, suicide. Yes, they are not immune. Some of these people have been praying to finish and graduate into spaces whereby they can support their families. And now, I don't know even if they can still be called doctors or not doctors. So the mental impact that happens, I will not be surprised if we start hearing some. And probably we should monitor closely. We should identify them and try to ensure that we manage them, because that is a possibility. I don't know if government cares about that.
Okay.
We have a socio-economical impact. They're not generating money because they have studied to practice as doctors, to practice as nurses, to practice as pharmacists, basically medical professionals. Now, without a license, they can't practice. What are they going to do? If you tell me, what are they going to do? Are they going to do carpentry? They're going to sell in shops? What are they going to do? Or is there an allowance, kind of a stipend government is going to give them? Because they're not earning money.
Sure.
So what happens if you're not earning money?
Depression.
You're a problem to your own family. If you have a family, those are problems. So the socio-economical transformation is not going to happen, as is the goal of the NRM government or the Vision 2040. Then, in terms of practice, there's a problem for these current people, but also the ripple effect. There's a ripple effect. Because now, these ones who are here, they might lose the love for medicine, okay? Because you had love, you reached, and then been treated like as if you're not needed, okay? So the love goes. And therefore, this person, once he comes into now practice, that relationship with the patient might lose it over time. And this is something we can study, effects of this kind of bowels that we are having. Well, this is unprecedented. In the past, we would do Joso, but we would go. Now they are saying you're not going. So there's an impact. Then, the people who are watching, there are people who are in 5th year medical school see where I'm going.
Is it
There
safe?
are people who are in A-level doing those courses that people don't like.
Yeah.
And they are like, okay, I am in senior 5, I'm doing BC and PCB, Mfachi. Am I doing this course if this is what is going to happen? There is that one in O-level also.
Yeah.
So are you seeing the ripple effect backwards? Very soon, this prestigious profession, people are going to say me, Daddy, I don't want to be a doctor. I better let me go and be a taxi driver because daily there is money.
Wow. Can we look at the impact it has on the healthcare system?
Basically, by the mere fact that we do not meet the WHO standards, for example, of one doctor to about 1,000 patients. Right now, we are at about one doctor to 25,000 patients.
In Uganda?
Now, you're already blocking people who would see or reduce the burden on that one doctor who is there. Efforts have been made to increase the pay of medical practitioners. Efforts have been made to improve the working environment such that you don't feel strained. even if you're seeing very many patients. Efforts are being made to ensure that commodities will be available. But whether the work environment is okay and everything, if you're seeing 1,000 patients or 500 in a day, you cannot be efficient or productive. So the effect is that we are going to see certain citizens dying of preventable illnesses. We are going to see certain people getting complications, and that is more of patient safety, because of lack of someone to see them. We are going to see healthcare providers get burnout because they are working more. There's this kind of ripple effect, okay? Because now we have reached a stage where we are expecting more hands-on, more numbers, and now they're not coming, so it plays back into you. And then that is now going to lead our country into spaces of less productivity, because people are going to be sick and spending more time sick, and they're not being seen well, so less productivity, going to these financial turmoils that you keep seeing.
Wow.
You see. So one decision is okay, and I think our leaders should always meditate more about the statements they come out with.
Okay.
Because usually at the end of the day, some solution comes out now with the pressure. Why do you wait for pressure to function? Okay? Why do you wait for pressure to function? Function out of pressure, and then put in place sustainable measures that can ensure that all these people who are coming through are supported. I think it begins with intersectoral coordination. The one who is producing and the one who is absorbing, you sit and agree that, now, this year I want this. There will be no problem. But if you don't sit, for some reason, this is where we end up. And I feel sad for the common citizen who is going to be affected by this.
Right now we are pointing out so much the Ministry of Health. What is the Ministry? What message? Have you reached out to the Ministry of Finance? I don't know if you're supposed to in the protocol.
Who to reach out?
The UMA.
So Uganda Medical Association brings together all these doctors and tries to, ensure that all its members are well off. Okay, and usually in this country, the way how things are, even before you reach the Ministry of Finance, there are certain players that you have to reach out for who probably have the command, the ability to make things move. Okay, and really, we all know how ministries work. Ministries work the same way. So to be honest, Ministry of Finance works with what is given to it. Okay, budgets that are given to it by Parliament. The money collected maybe by all that. So going to Ministry of Finance will not help much right now as we speak. Right now we need to speak to that person who says, okay, let them go.
Okay.
I will look for the money. It's just like a father at home. Can be when you have no money, but if the child comes back home and say, okay, headmaster, let the child say, I'm bringing the money next week. No one knows where you're going to get the money from, but you're the one in the driving seat. You're the one who've given the mandate to represent people. So Parliament should deliberate on this very seriously, should actually have a sitting and agree to have a supplementary budget to support these young men and women. Why? Because one, the people you're representing are going to die, are going to get hurt, are going to get complications. They may not be able to vote for you the next time you go there because they are dead. Secondly, the only professionals you're having who will support your people, but also your citizens, are home. What happens if this person gets to see you one time in the future? They don't forget. We keep seeing, they call them memes. This one failed to make me go for internship in time. And you're there, you're on table, operating table, and the man remembers you because he used to see you on TV. So Parliament, let us... Yesterday there was a very good discussion in Parliament about this, but I think we should be more intentional. And so partnering to need that, you know what? We need money for these young men and women. And going forward, the next budget cycle, we have to ensure that we know how many are coming and the money is available. If this happens next year, I think the blame begins with the planning team.
We have been seeing, it's not the first time we are seeing this kind of crisis. So should we say there have been no lessons learned?
To be honest, there are very many lessons learned, but I think the person taking them down is not sharing them probably. Even in my own year, we went on the street. But that one was all about delay, not we are home. We are assured of going, but maybe delay of the money coming. Because at least if you expect it to come maybe 2-3 months, but it takes longer, so you're like, what is going on, to cause pressure for the money to come. So the lessons that have been learned are many, but maybe what we would suggest is, in order to have them on paper, let us have these various players come together in a kind of a consultative meeting or a think-tank meeting. We discuss, and then the way forward and the action points generated are documented, and everyone knows. So we see next year who will not be doing what, given an action point is, this is the problem, this is the action to be taken, this is the timeline, this is the responsible person. Then there we can know, so that the fire coming to Ministry of Health should be retracted. Why? Because really they are at the receiving end. They just receive to deploy. Okay? They don't produce, or they don't get the money. And this is where it is so technical for it. I feel sorry for it. Okay? So let's have that meeting whereby we all come together as stakeholders and we get long-lasting solution. And it is possible. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Dr. Edwin here is doing us wonderful. And the discussion, I hope, is helping out so much. We have, you see, even the trend is shifting. You see, like he has mentioned, in his year, they went on demonstration because it is delayed. And we've seen now, currently, we are seeing people who are now demonstrating because they do not have the hope of even going to be deployed at any given time. But well, we hope the possible measures can be put up. Of course, we are not getting done yet. The discussion is still flowing, and we're going in for a very short break and return with more.
Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
One thing I've gotten to realize most is priorities. So someone sent me a message that in a country where we're having lots of corruption scandals, we're having lots of extravagant expenditure, and actually they even pointed out some of the regional sittings Parliament is going to be having, each sitting costing 5 billion Ugandan shillings, and then their supplement, or the person who sent me the message, says so the bit of that cannot be gotten to facilitate medical interns. The question he posed to me, I don't know if I'm in that capability of answering such, but really it is a big call. Medical interns, or you can say the medical sector, is a very, very big aspect, because without health in the country, you're nothing. So this is something that should be given much priority. But well, today we are discussing the fate of undeployed intern doctors, and this here is being brought to us by Dr. Edwin Ouma, who is the chairperson, Uganda Medical Association at Teso branch, and it has been a very, very wonderful and flowing insight here. So, Doctor, I want to ask you about the efforts that have been put in by Ouma specifically. What are some of the efforts, majorly advocacy, to address this issue?
So the Uganda Medical Association really has more or less a tripartite agenda to bring together these medics, okay? After that, you bring them together, you tend to their welfare, socio-economically, professional needs, practicing ethically, really trying to, and which supports the government. And then you ensure that the population gets some kind of quality education, okay? So our role is so key. And advocacy is one arm. Advocacy is so important, because then probably we need to wake up the government, remind it that, hey, what you're doing is not right, it's not correct. It has effects, short-term, mid-term, long-term. Please, get up, do something. That's very key across all levels. And you can imagine the Uganda Medical Association is here, and we are all interns, and every doctor is part of, and then now we keep branching off to the specialist association. All of us go through this pathway. So that future neurosurgeon, that future urologist, that future heart surgeon, right now is not going through this process. And that is a risk for all of us as a country. So our steps that we are taking, we have to come here and we have to speak to the population to understand. The population has to speak to their people they elected that, hello, what is going on? Why are you not prioritizing Parliament in terms of planning? Why are you there? Okay, if I'm sick and I need a doctor, why are you planning a 5 billion sitting yet I'm sick? Okay, meetings are so important. I have to agree. Those are the standard executive function, but we health first. Okay, it's a priority. So the advocacy that we have to, and then the commitment and the intention to go to these various players and bring them together. That kind of effort that is being done in that, the money that is wasted, at least would be put maybe in other aspects of now supporting the doctors to practice ethically. Because once in a while these things come up. But if you're spending money and fuel to go and see the Minister of Health, to go to the Ministry of Education and sit there, and to go to see the President, when are we doing our work and other work? Okay, we could be doing other more important things to innovate, other things that can bring our services, healthcare services, more quality and safety. So really this work that we are doing is key, and we are not going to stop at it. And really we are saying that wherever you are you in Kasese, are you in Arua, you are in Moyo, rise up, pick that phone, call your area representative and ask them, what is going on? I am not seeing this here, and I'm hearing that you're telling people to first stay home. How does that add up? Where is the mathematics? To be honest, and this is what we are doing. This is what we're always going to keep doing, because this is so key for a nation to transform socioeconomically. Come out from wherever we are, whether third or second, to first world-class country. You understand?
Yes.
So as Uganda Medical Association, we are so intentional and committed to it. We shall not give up, dear government, because this is the role God has given us to come together and ensure that this moves forward. And actually, we are helping you do this. We're also going to go back and probably talk to these young people, because we have to tend to their mental statuses, their health.
Sure.
But to be honest with you, we don't have we don't have that kind of arm to say that you young person, don't do this. For example, don't go to the street, don't do what. Why? Because he's so aggrieved. And I am not government. Uganda Medical Association is not government to say that now you go to the hospital. Okay? But we can also advise government. We know the facilities that take on interns. We upload the decision by means of health expand general hospitals, okay, to try to increase the pool of facilities where interns can go. That's actually a good move. What about, because now we have public facilities, we have faith-based facilities. I think we should start considering certain private facilities also. Private, for-profit facilities that have reached a certain level. They are a hospital, they have certain standards and they are accredited. You might find they might be more willing, because the specialists are there that train these people, and they could be able to actually support. I trained from a faith-based hospital, and on top of what government would give me as an allowance, the faith-based hospital, because of the work I was doing, would add me something. I want to believe the private facility could also do the same and lessen the gap on government. Government should recognize that the private space has capability to absorb these young people that you're leaving for dead at home. And if that is the situation, please invite the private space to come on board and have discussions on how you can standardize it to ensure that when this young person comes out, we'll offer quality services. So as Uganda Medical Association, we probably want to advise government that please consider this option also. Okay? Don't throw the young men and women for dead. Invite them and ask them for what they think could be done. Invite other stakeholders. A meeting, one meeting is enough. Try and come up with wonderful way forwards that can inform progress and reduce the unrest.
And by the way, even how they handle, when these young people come to the streets and holding placards and all that, do you think the way they intervene with police and sort of, do you think that's a better response?
Well, the police is there to keep law and order, as you can imagine. Everyone is thrown into an unnecessary situation because of what someone has failed to do. Okay, so you could feel probably pity for them. And in that situation, if also they don't have standards or SOPs of engagement, things get nasty and ugly, as you can imagine. As much as I know that the young doctors and nurses and the pharmacists on the street with placards don't have guns. All they have is their voice and their legs probably to either run or, try to intimidate. Okay? So engaging them with a lot of force is unnecessary. What are they going to do? They're just trying to bring their voice to be heard because they're being blocked everywhere. And also, they're from school. They do not know many people. They know patients and they are professors or they are teachers who have been teachers. They don't know many people. So they try to identify and come out. So engaging them with force is really unnecessary and we condemn it, definitely. But it is easy to ensure that they don't come to the street. Call them and speak to them. It's just being out of respect. Call them. We have known, they knew, ministry knew this was going to happen. Government knew. Call them, speak to them, even before they finish school. Because they will not riot. And then they have a process of digesting the information through. This is just simple respect and logical reasoning that can help us end these things.
There are efforts of dialogue, just like you mentioned. Has the ministry interjected at any given time to speak to these people? Maybe these ones are not going to be.
Which ministry?
The Ministry of Health.
I think we should begin from Ministry of Education.
Okay, you're going back.
Yes,
Okay.
I think we should begin. So why is it quiet? We should begin from there, and then because right now health is in the line of fire. So right now it is damaging. It is damage control. Okay, so we could be invited to a sector meeting whereby kind of an urgent meeting. Okay, whereby we now discuss on the way forward. We invite the intern leadership, the identified people. We invite the trainers, and we invite the people who look out for them. And then we discuss, and then after that, information is disseminated. Those efforts have not yet materialized, and it is sad. It is sad. It shows that probably people are not probably caring about where this is going. It's very sad. Yeah.
So can we, before we go to the long-term solutions, can we first look at reasons why not going to be deployed? What do you
It's only one. Deploy these young men and women. There's nothing else. There is no alternative there's no way, there's no other pathway. Because if you create another pathway, you're creating problems, quality problems. Get the money, plan for the money, pass a directive, generate new lists, let all medical interns, doctors, the nurses, and the pharmacists go for internship.
Okay.
Let them go to the facilities. And then once they are there, we plan to get them the money. Okay. And we are while at it because finally the money will appear, even if it means calling out to people to contribute. It's 18.5 billion. It's 18.5 billion. I remember during COVID, I think you also remember, people brought money.
Yeah, sure. They
Institutions brought money, brought cars, a lot of things. Well-wishers. Ask the patients who want to be worked on, shall bring the money. What is wrong with that? Because after all, the government is the people for the people by the people. Okay? We shall bring the money. Just deploy them and then look at all these other means of getting the money. Now, this is August. Around October, let's start talking about the coming load. If that doesn't happen, then it is crystal clear there is someone sleeping
on job.
Yes.
Wow. I actually wanted to talk about how the public can come into support, but I think you've already mentioned it there. Now, can we talk about the funding solutions? What do you think can be done?
Government, which is the parliament, it's called for parliamentary sitting by the speaker or the deputy speaker, and the discussion on floor for that day is how do we get the money for the medical interns. Resolution is passed that let's get a supplementary for these young, because the number is known, the money is known. They direct the Ministry of Finance, bring the money. Where you get it from, you will tell us. It is done. Because this is government. This is not any other entity that is going to go. This is government. And government is able to take that move. The only funding solution right now that is logical and possible, supplementary. Let the young men and women go and have a touch.
Wow.
Yeah.
In order not to continue having such, every year then we have been having demonstrations about medical interns deployment. In order not to have such, what do you think should be the long-term solutions to such an issue?
I think we have to be honest with ourselves and say, okay, as Uganda, what can we handle? We used to come from places where we had less than 1,000 interns. Now we are at about 2,700. And we say that what can we handle? I think when we say what can we handle for now, for the next 10 years, through a policy, and these policies have been drafted and suggested by the Uganda Medical Association, both for the interns and the senior house officers, who are those people that have gone forward to specialize, okay? So let us review those policies and say, what can we handle? And based on what we can handle, how much money is that? Always it will be in the budget. As simple as that. You may think it is so difficult, and we need to go to Mars to come back and then agree. It isn't. It's just a meeting with honest agreement on what we can handle, and then we go with that as government. Because I don't want Ministry of Education to say, because as I speak right now, next year, we are going to have 2 universities training medics.
Wow.
Be it nurses, be it pharmacists, be it doctors. They are going to be accredited. By who?
Government.
Same government
cannot handle.
I think but there are alternatives also. We can export.
Oh, yeah.
We can export.
Exporting, yeah,
we can talk to other countries that can accommodate interns for training, because it's something that has to happen. Then they will pay them. When they come back, they can either stay there and work, bring back the foreign currency, which is good for us. They could, after internship and offering services in those, they could come back and practice from here. And there's no need for them to do another exam or what. So these are the things on table. And it just takes someone who is intentional and committed and has the love for mother country to think about them and make them realistic. Yeah.
So, do you think the problem is with the Ministry of Education, first and foremost? Because I don't see a reason why, if people can get out or get out of or graduate and head on to the next level unplanned for. Yet initially you find even some of them have been on sponsorship.
The problem, in my own thinking, is not with the Ministry of Education, it's not with the Ministry of Finance or Ministry of Health, okay? Every year, every government cycle, we have an agenda. We have something we are following, okay? We have a plan. The issue is with the planners.
Oh.
The issue is with the planners. Because it is true, we need healthcare providers. I've given you the ratios. At least 1 doctor to 1,000 patients. Well, we don't have a number for a nurse per patient, but at least 1 doctor should work with between 2 to 5 nurses, so that now you can also compute backwards. So, and we are, as per the recent census, 45 million, 45 to 47 million people.
Yes.
So, Uganda Medical Association, we bring together about 8,500 doctors. That is those who are here, those in the diaspora, about 8,500. So 47 million divided by 8,500. Now, if we add the 1,000 doctors coming on board, maybe now 9,000. How many? Is the ratio being met? No. So it is true, we need to train more. For export, for use. So no problem. Ministry of Education is doing well. Production is going on, although we have more intentional discussions there. Now, the issue is on the money to support what we want. So, Ministry of Finance, URA, the Parliament, what innovations are you doing that bring in money to support your budgets? This is where we should be thinking about. Yes.
Okay. Very interesting there. So it goes back to the planners, right? As you mentioned. So I think, we have a really number. It is quite absurd. I understand. The person who sent me the message about the government's expenditure is a parent who had their child graduate recently, and but now the child is not among those who are going to be deployed. So it is quite absurd. So as we end this discussion, Doctor, what could be your possible, what do you think should be the future plans in regards to the medical intern doctors deployment?
I think Uganda Medical Association, together with its sister associations, okay, should be invited by government to consider the policy drafts that we generated that guide healthcare resources like the interns and the senior house officers, because it's a recurrent problem, year in, year out. Now, once we sit and we look at those policy drafts and we improve upon them and then sign them into effect, okay? Problem solved. Because then we shall know how many per annum, per year, how many trained persons are coming in. Standard, irrespective of how many are getting into the training schools, we know how many have to come out.
Yes.
That one should be the first standard, okay? Once we know that, for now, at least for the next maybe 5 to 10, okay, 5 years, we should know that maybe we should be expecting 2,000 students or graduates, doctors, nurses, pharmacists that do internship, okay? Then from there, we see the budget to support them. Then finished. It's just a policy decision. Nothing else. Nothing else. Because once government commits, government will meet that cost. So it's the policy matter that needs to be handled. Understand? And then think about it. Not only doctors, nurses, and pharmacists that do training. We have the allied health, also other people that do the radiographers, sonographers. There are also many, but they don't do internship. But they are there in the community. They are practicing. They are earning money. It's only these people that have been curtailed. So maybe if government, and which will be regrettable, if it says that now there's no more need for internship, go and practice, maybe it does so, to avoid this stress and pressure. But that will be so regrettable, and it's not advisable. Okay? What is advisable? Invite the Uganda Medical Association as government. Let us sit down and agree on a policy for interns and senior house officers. Then let us implement it.
Oh, wow.
It's already on the table. Not that it is coming, it's already on the table. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. This is Dr. Edwin Ouma, who is the chairperson for Uganda Medical Association, and that is, of course, in Teso branch. And we really appreciate for the efforts that you've really put in there. And we really hope these medical interns, intern doctors can really be given, because if you're to look at their training, I think they go to training to school for 5 years, and then you have to sit for some few, it could be more time before you're even placed for internship, which is also close to a year plus. So you find it is kind of a lot of time for them there before they start the actual work of what they are trained for in life. So I think it is really a big call to government specifically, because it is the initiator of this. I hope the planning can be better for them there. But well, Doctor, please give us your last remarks as we wind up and get out of here, because I see time has caught us up.
As the chairperson of Uganda Medical Association Teso branch, my agenda is 3 items. One, I want to see that the quality and safety of services to the people is top-notch. Number 2, the medics are practicing with high professionalism and ethical. Number 3, that they are developing or being transformed socio-economically. Okay? And that begins with the interns, with the training being streamlined, with no gap in that. Once they come out, then we as supporters of government are also trying to ensure that we support government in ensuring the quality, the welfare is done. So we need this initial support from government, and then we shall work always together in the aftermath. So my final message is that let government support us, also support them.
Well, thank you so much, and that is it. We cannot really go past this. I want to appreciate you, the viewer, who has been here with us since 9, and now concluding this. We hope the messages sent out there clear, and of course, you must be knowing the importance of the impact of the medical doctors or the medical intern doctors and their training there. Actually, they do help so much. One time I hosted one of them here. They told us the amount of work they do when they are posted in there. So it is quite an amount of work which really should be guaranteed to them, because they are trained or they are educated to do that. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to appreciate you and to remind you that we are always powered by Protea Hotel by Marriott in Entebbe, and my name is Luke Majumba. Naito, please have yourselves a lovely day.
The views expressed on this show are not necessarily those of this television or its management, but as of individuals as we hear them. Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.